video is going to cover an opposition strategy called a disadvantage. But before we do that, make sure that you subscribe to our channel here if you haven't already, and head over to learnparlidebate.com in order to get more videos like this and more content. Okay, so now that you've subscribed, we're talking about disadvantages. So this is in a policy case scenario. So remember, the proposition side has decided if this is going to be a policy case, and you as the opposition side, you need to have prepared a variety of things. One of those is most likely going to be preparing disadvantages. So just a quick review. Remember, the opposition side, what they're doing, the proposition side, what they're doing is creating a plan, and they're saying all the good things that come out of this plan, right? So there's probably something wrong. The plan fixes that. Here are some positive things that come out of implementing this plan, okay? On the opposition side, your job is to say, well, okay, maybe we're arguing against those positive things or whatever, but the bad things that come out of implementing this plan are so significant that it's worth not doing the plan at all. Okay, so your job here is to take the plan that's being implemented by the government side, and you're trying to say that that actually leads to these really negative things that are going to happen if the plan is implemented. Okay, so let's talk about the structure for how you do this. So we've got a couple of different components. We'll go through them one by one. Some of these terms are interchangeable, so we'll talk about them as we go and what you might hear and what might be different. So first, what we do is we establish a situation that currently exists. Then we link that to the plan. After that, we talk about the bad things that would happen after that plan is implemented. Okay, so here's some terms to cover that. So the first term is the status quo. This is also known as uniqueness. Okay, so this is the first part where you're just painting the picture or describing a situation that currently exists. All right, the way you do this is you're talking about how things are, maybe some data about that particular situation. Then the next step is called the link. Okay, the link is where you're taking that situation and then you are linking the government's plan to that situation. All right, so you had the situation that was discussed and you're saying, here's how the plan would interact with that. There's another component that often happens after the link, and that's called the internal link. The internal link discusses some of the things that would come out of that interaction between plan and status quo or uniqueness. Right, so first you've got this plan, this status quo, this situation. After that, the plan interacts with it. Here's how that works. The internal link discusses some of the other things that would be affected within the status quo once that plan has been implemented. And then last is something called the impact. The impact tells us why we should care. There's qualitative impacts and quantitative impacts. In other words, there's, it might even be a small sample, but if it's a particular injustice that should never happen but would happen because of that plan, qualitative, we would, not too many people are affected, but it's so significant that it's worth making sure it would never happen. Or quantitative, lots of people are affected, or at least you're measuring the number of people that would be affected. Okay, but there's different ways that your job is to get the judge to care about this, right? So you're saying, again, there's this plan that they're advocating for on the government side, and they're saying that it does these good things, but we're on the opposition side here saying that that plan will interact with the given situation, and here's all of the bad things that would come out of that. And essentially what you're trying to do is give weight to some negative outcomes that would occur due to the fact that that plan would be passed. Okay, so that's basically what happens in a disadvantage. You might also see some people who just give uniqueness, link, and impact. Sometimes you don't see some of the newer debaters using internal link. Once in a while, that can be a little bit confusing for people. So just think about it. You've got a situation. Here's how the plan interacts with that situation. And then here's the impacts or why we should care. Okay.